Donald Trump and his lawyers are taking inconsistent positions again about the application of what's called temporary immunity to stop civil cases while they continue to prosecute civil cases in other courthouses. I'm Michael Popok. You're on Legal AF, the YouTube channel. Let's get down to it and see if Donald Trump is setting himself up for a contempt finding in Delaware in front of the Chancery Court judge or not. Now, let me break it down for you. Truth Social, which Donald Trump owns, he says he founded it himself, but really, there are two guys that used to work with him on The Celebrity Apprentice, one named Andy Latinsky, the other one Wes Moss, who claimed to be co-founders, and that Donald Trump cut them out and has been trying to squeeze them out of their equity position ever since. Now, don't feel too sorry for them. The stake that they were given, and Donald Trump didn't object to, they did recover $150 million selling it off in the marketplace. But they said they're owed like another $400 or $500 million for being the co-founders of Truth Social. Of course, Donald Trump doesn't want to give anybody credit for anything, so he's been fighting them ever since. Now, he filed recently in the Delaware Chancery Court on behalf of himself, Devin Nunes, who used to be the head of Truth Social, who's coming into the administration for Donald Trump, and Kash Patel, who's on the board of Truth Social, who's Donald Trump's nominee for FBI director. He's saying that everybody's got what's called temporary immunity from civil litigation, which is usually enjoyed by presidents, but that's about it, so that you're not interfering with the ability of the person in office to do his day-to-day job as a president. And so you get a temporary, even Donald Trump acknowledges it's temporary, and the temporary quality of it lifts after the administration is over, which is 4 years from now. I don't think it really should be extended to Devin Nunes or to Kash Patel, but that's Donald Trump's argument. Now, the problem is he's already in hot water with this particular Delaware Chancery Court judge, because while all of the issues were being litigated in Delaware, because it's a Delaware company, Donald Trump, because his trust, where he keeps all of his shares, is in Florida, he ran to Florida and filed a competing lawsuit, which pissed the judge off, who said she was almost going to find him in contempt because he shouldn't have been filing and split this cause of action and filing some sort of action in Florida to gain an upper hand and to do what's called forum shopping. Now, Donald Trump, at the same time he's telling this Delaware Chancery Court judge, which is a unique business court down in Delaware. Same time he's telling her that temporary immunity should stop the case against him. Truth Social just filed a new case in New York in the trial court level, we call it the Supreme Court in New York, against other stakeholders and shareholders claiming extortion and fraud. Whatever they're claiming, it's a new lawsuit brought by a law firm out there called DLA Piper on behalf of Donald Trump. And they're arguing that, they need their day in court. They're not arguing temporary immunity. All right. So they want to use temporary immunity as a doctrine, as a shield and a sword. When they have a case against them, they want to throw up temporary immunity and say, you can't sue me or any of the people around me, which is not exactly how immunity works. However, when they want to go after somebody, then they want to use it as a sword. Yes, we're doing it. No, that's not how immunity works. And sword and shield analogies piss off judges when they see it being violated. So let's talk about what's going to happen. There's a lot of civil suits involving Donald Trump, some that he's the plaintiff and a lot where he's the defendant. The cases where he's the defendant, he's starting to file these motions to have the cases stayed for 4 years, like the defamation case that was brought by the Central Park Five, or what's now known as the Exonerated Five, for him continuing to bash them and say that they were guilty of committing those crimes in the park that they spent many years in jail for, which they were not. They were exonerated. So he's got a defamation cases there. He's got other cases that he's brought against the media, right? He's got the cases against the Des Moines Register because he doesn't like the way the last poll came out right before the election that showed he was down by 3 points when he was really up by 13 when the final numbers came in, and all that kind of stuff. He just settled this case with George Stephanopoulos and ABC and Disney for $15 million. So you can see he's picking and choosing which cases he wants to respond to. If it's his case where he's the plaintiff, where he's trying to save his ass, he doesn't want immunity. He doesn't want the cases stopped. If it's a case that's against him, he wants to use immunity. But I think all of those acts of his will be considered to be waiver, and inconsistent application by the various courts that need to address these issues. What do I think Chancellor McCormick's going to do in Delaware? I think she's going to find that the case should not be dismissed. That especially as against Nunes and Patel, case should continue against them. The company should be able to defend themselves. Truth Social is part of the defendants, and they should be able to. So maybe Donald Trump gets a temporary reprieve, but I don't even think she does that. And I think if the lawyers are smart, which I know they are, they will have pointed out already to the judge that Donald Trump is improperly using the immunity application to cover other people that aren't him, and that he's prosecuting his own appeals in other cases. I mean, right now he's got an appeal in New York for the $450 million civil fraud case that he's prosecuting. He's got an appeal he just lost in one of two E. Jean Carroll cases involving defamation, sexual assault, and punitive damages. He's going to lose the other E. Jean Carroll case. There's two of them. He's going to take appeals related to those. He's got an 11th Circuit appeal. Oh, no, actually, he got dropped from that one related to Mar-a-Lago. Sorry. He's got the $450 million judgment that's up on appeal on civil fraud brought by the New York Attorney General, right? So he's got cases all over the place. He's got the Exonerated 5 lawsuit. But so I think if I'm the Chancery Court judge, I'm like, no, Nunes, you sit down, you're staying. Patel, you're staying. You got sued for these or the company, you're staying. Donald Trump, I think you're staying. I think this would be my ultimate ruling related to it. But I wanted to bring you attention this concept of temporary immunity, which is exactly what it sounds like. On the civil side, Donald Trump is acknowledging that any immunity he gets to temporarily stay these cases won't last beyond his time in office. We're still waiting on the sentencing decision and a last motion to dismiss at the New York Supreme Court for the 34 felony count conviction of Donald Trump. We're waiting on that. That should come out any day now. And we're also waiting on Merrick Garland to release the reports I'm sure Jack Smith has delivered as closeout memos for the Mar-a-Lago case and D.C. election interference. So if Donald Trump thought he was just going to have like smooth sailing from now until the inauguration, all he had to do was sit around planning his balls, his inaugural balls, yeah, it's not happening. Every day, something negative has happened against Donald Trump in all of his cases and will continue. And I'll continue to follow it on Legal AF right here. Hit the free subscribe button. See you on Tuesdays, Popok Live. See you on Wednesdays and Saturdays for the Midas Touch Legal AF podcast. And right back here on Legal AF, the YouTube channel, for our reporting that I curate just for you. So until my next report on Legal AF things, this is Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.